is a North Georgia water war that's brewing between neighbors on both banks of the Chattahoochee River. On one side, a powerful member of the Georgia Ports Authority and Governor Nathan Deal's former business partner.
And on the other side are neighbors who believe Ken Cronan has stripped the riverbank to improve the view of a proposed wedding venue. A senior I-Team reporter, Dale Russell, traveled to DEMOREST to sift through this war of words. Dale?
Russ, and it's a beautiful part of the state. It's a battle over the riverbank on the pristine and peaceful Chattahoochee River. A politically connected landowner says everything he has done, he's done by the book. But his neighbors disagree.
Blue Creek, Chattahoochee, it was perfect. Peace, quiet. We plan to retire here.
In North Georgia, along this little slice of heaven, the Chattahoochee River is not only the natural border between White and Habersham counties, it is also center stage for a war of words between longtime neighbors.
We have a history with this owner. The history is that they've had no respect for the neighbors.
John Villines is angry with his neighbor, Ken Cronan. Vice chairman of the Georgia Ports Authority, he was appointed by his good friend, upstream neighbor and one-time business partner, Governor Nathan Deal.
I don't think that should matter at all.
To some living along this river, the current dispute started years ago. In 2010, the Chattahoochee Riverkeeper organization took this picture of a boat ramp. It was built on Ken Cronan's property at the Chattahoochee. They filed a complaint with the county and the state. And according to their internal emails, the property owner says he will have the ramp removed. And it was.
They've not shown any regard for anything the way it's supposed to be done.
Then there was the late night noise from fireworks to loud music, even helicopters buzzing overhead.
And I can hear the loud parties and the fireworks, and when we called the sheriff's department, there was nothing done to stop it.
But this was the final straw. November of last year, bulldozers began pulling up vegetation and tearing down trees. What was once this was now this.
I'm still angry. I'm angry on many levels.
Turns out, back in 2011, Ken Cronan applied for a variance to cut trees and vegetation inside the 50-foot buffer set by the state to protect Georgia rivers. The permit said the reason would be laying back of the riverbank to prevent additional sloughing. Sloughing is when water erodes a riverbank, causing the land to slide into the river. The EPD told me it was a routine application.
I don't get it. I don't know what that was for. I don't know why that request was worded that way, and I cannot imagine who would have approved it.
The state EPD, under the new Governor Nathan Deal, approved the project, but they demanded that Cronan plant 436 trees per acre and 774 shrubs per acre after clearing the land. No work was done for 5 years. Then last November, Cronan began clearing the land. He had his EPD approval, but he needed a county permit as well.
I made the mistake.
But Habersham County's new Planning and Development Director, Mike BEECHAM, says he didn't realize the county had to approve the project, so he let Cronan go ahead.
By the time I discovered my mistake, the work had essentially been done.
This is where the waters get murkier. Neighbors would soon discover what Cronan wanted to do with the 13 acres above the riverbank.
It was in a later document that we learned they wanted to put a 6,000 square foot wedding venue there.
He's right. Ken Cronan wanted to build a 6,000 square foot barn to hold weddings and other events. His neighbors were stunned.
And one only needs to think a little bit to infer that the view is potentially enhanced for a wedding venue if one clear cuts the entire bank.
If I had a wedding venue, I'd want to have a clear view of the water.
He agreed to plant several hundred trees.
So those angry neighbors and Chattahoochee River keepers Dale Caldwell appeared before the Habersham County Commission, asking them to say no to the wedding venue.
Everything that we've done so far is in compliance with EPD ruling.
Ken Cronan talked as well, promising he'd replant the trees and vegetation that his state permit requires.
That riverbank restoration has to be done in its entirety.
The commission said they needed more time to think about it.
Ken, let me ask you one question that your neighbors addressed with us, please.
And Ken Cronan, who had a chance to get in the last word, had nothing more to say.
What happened with the property?
No comment.
Now, the Habersham County Planning Department recommended that Ken Cronan's application be accepted with some conditions, like no music late into the night, no amplified equipment outdoors, and all the parking to be off-site. The commission will take it up again later this month, and his neighbors have assured me they will be there to voice their opposition. Russ, Sine.
So is there any deadline by which these shrubs and trees have to be replanted?
He said during the hearing that once he gets the planting started, about 9 months, he thinks he can get that work done. Doesn't expect to open up the wedding venue for 2 to 4 years.
Well, that many trees will cost a lot of money.
Yeah, it's good. It's an expensive restoration. It really is.
All right, Dale, thanks very much.